Hi, this is Lee Solden, and I'm going to do a blog once a week, keep it down to 15 minutes, um, to tell people what's new on my channel that week, and slash step over may do it some weeks, but in either case, whoever does it, well, his main purpose is to go over what's new. Now, since I just created this channel last month, and just within the last week, I decided to add a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot to go over today about what's new on the channel. Well, since my first blog post, that would pretty much cover, I guess, everything, right? So, have to pause this for a second. Okay, decided to transfer the bulk of my teaching to this channel. In other words, instead of trying to teach one person, I'm going to try to teach, even if I do teach one person, it's going to still be on this YouTube channel as much as possible so that everybody can look at the materials and get the benefit out of it, rather than creating one set of materials for one person and recreating it for another. I'm going to start putting it all on YouTube. So that's all I do is teach languages and learn them. I'm going to put all that energy, start putting it, I think, more productively by doing it through YouTube where more people can access it, okay? So I have set up playlist where I am teaching what I know. I'm a student of all these myself too. I mean, some I know a lot, some I know a little, but these 12 languages I've been interested in for at least 2 years now, and those are Greek, Italian, Dutch, French, Spanish, German, Russian, Korean, Hindi, Mandarin, mainstream Arabic, and Brazilian Portuguese. So, got a playlist for each of those 12. Come learn one of those from me. In addition, there are several languages I've either only did a little bit with, never intending to do a whole lot, at least maybe keep up with a co-learner, maybe. Well, Japanese and Lithuanian were the first two such. I got ear tuning syllables for that. Another language, Norwegian, I got ear tuning syllables for that in the audiobook, for you to start listening to, so you can start getting ear tuned to Norwegian. Okay, so other things I've done, helped people out with English. Um, I've done both Irish English accent and standard American Midwest accent. So there's audiobooks and ear tuning syllables for that. I have a started playlist on British English accent. See here. I've also started teaching English from something I'm talking. I mean, for me, that's a standard Midwest, but a lot of Southern influence. I've taught that in French. No, excuse me. No, French, Spanish, and Brazilian Portuguese so far, and I'm going to teach that in Italian next week. Okay, Dutch, specifically in an accent spoken from West Vlaams, West Flanders, part of what you call Flemish, spoken in Belgium. I've taught that in English and in Italian, and those were the most of those. There's a whole lot of probably 30 of those, 20 or 30 of those videos on my channel are all about teaching that Dutch. First 7 on my channel are just me introducing my system, okay? Okay, now, more recent stuff. I'm going to start learning a couple languages here as of like today. Tagalog and Swedish, 2 of the things on my list I've been wanting to learn. I've put the audiobook out there, inviting people to start doing the passive listening. I'll write ear tuning syllables as I can for people. Okay. I did a playlist on Welsh, just asking people to contribute to other people wanting to learn Welsh. I'll help as I can. As I get the right material, I'll try to write ear tuning syllables and try to be teaching that. One thing about all my languages I teach, I try to make it friendly for people that have vision problems. Okay, visually impaired people, I'm always thinking of them when I do each playlist. Like for instance, I always recite the ear tuning syllables so someone can loop them to get used to them rather than having to read them, which you have poor vision, you might not be able to do that so well. Okay. I think I got, yeah, I get three, like I have teaching Dutch. I did a three-part series on teaching Dutch, specifically aimed at people with poor vision. But for anything I teach, I'm going to try to make it friendly for people who are visually impaired. Okay, I'm 1 minute over on that section. So that's what's on my channel. Okay. Second part of what I'm doing today is my system. How's my system go? Okay. The third part will be how I came about it. Okay. So quickly, how does my system go? It's like an integrated, systematic approach to natural language acquisition. Came about for me running into it pretty much and accidentally discovering this stuff and always optimizing what I come across, and which led to more discoveries. And when I discovered more stuff, I kept optimizing that. Okay, that later. What I come up with? You learn a story in the language. The way you go about learning that story is, first of all, you get your ear tuned to that language. You don't learn any words first. No, you get your ear tuned into that language really good. That starts with passive listening. I call that step one of my program. You listen to the language a lot, like 21 hours where you're completely ignoring it. Your speech center is just getting data here, right? Okay. Passive listening, what does that mean exactly? Listen to your favorite music, watch programs on Netflix or TV, not in the target language, mind you, and whatever your favorite programs are in whatever language. Have the language playing in the background. That's passive listening. You're ignoring it. It's for your speech center, not for you. Everything I do is teaching your speech center, which is extremely amazing. It's a language supercomputer. All that I do is tell you how to use your language supercomputer, okay? Starting with this passive listening. Now, is that all you do? No, you don't just keep passive listening. You always keep doing passive listening, but you now after like 21 hours of just that, now you add in ear tuning exercises, which again I just stumbled upon these ear tuning exercises. This is looking at the same 30 seconds of speech 120 times a day. I say looking at, okay, what I mean is you got your ear on it. It's going into your ear 120 times a day. 60 times you're trying to follow my ear tuning syllables that I give you. The other 60 times you got your eyes closed and trying to follow just with your ear, okay? You do 60 times in the morning, 60 times at night. Do your passive listening in between. Most languages, 2 days of that. We're talking that's 1 hour in the morning. Excuse me, 1 hour in the first day, 1 hour in the second day. Usually by the third day, you've tuned into the language. It's pretty quick. Okay. Of course, if you're visually impaired, then you can loop my ear tuning syllables, get used to them, and then you just do the follow by ear part all the time, right? Still work. Because you're using the audio cues to look for the next. Okay, you heard that and then you expect the next syllable, right? So it's the same. It's kind of the same as if you had them in front of you. Okay, third part of the program. You soak it up. This is the first thing I discovered. You soak it up. You don't study it. How do you soak something up if you don't study it? Well, you do lightly study it, if you even call it that, because you do look at the meaning of sentence number 1 in a story. That sentence, every word you're going to learn is in that sentence all connected. And then the sentence is within a story all connected. So that's part of my program, is that you're learning connected stuff, not unconnected, random stuff. You're learning connected stuff. Not only are you learning connected stuff, you're going to loop that. So as you learn it, still loop in the background to help you pick it up better, okay? So read-throughs go like this. You look over the notes given you by your language partner. Maybe you had to figure these out yourself in some cases, but assume hopefully you got a language partner. It tells you, okay, this first sentence means da 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 because da da da, this word's that, this phrase means that. Okay, you look over your notes and you need to know what it means for the next 10 seconds. That's why I say it's not studying, because you're not trying to memorize anything here. You're just looking over your notes briefly. You go, oh, okay, I understand that sentence. Then you listen to it 3 times while reading it. Then you listen to it 3 more times with your eyes closed, because in the end, you want to be able to understand the language with your eyes shut. Now, you may not understand it after that 3rd time listening with your eyes closed. That doesn't matter. Remember, this is all about you feeding data to your speech center. So what? You don't understand it that day. You will the next day. Maybe not a whole lot, but more than today. Your speech center, as you sleep, will figure it out and put a lot of the language into your permanent memory. So what you do is you listen, you look over your notes, you listen 3 times while reading, you just listen 3 times, your eyes closed, you go on to the next sentence. You don't go back and do that sentence over and over again until you learn it, because it's not studying. It's not, no, you just keep going next sentence, next sentence, next sentence. Trust your speech center. It's absolutely amazing. You'll know a lot of the language in the morning. And every morning you'll know more, and the whole process accelerates. This process accelerates so fast that once you get through doing 12 hours of audiobooks, you can just listen to the next hour and just, without any reading or nothing, just listen to it and know it already. Okay, so it starts out not real fast, but it accelerates very quickly and very rapidly, and you get to the point where all you got to do is listen to more of the language, learn the rest of the language. Occasionally look up words, of course. You don't know, you run across a new one. Okay, there's my system. The last third of my 15 minutes here is the history. Without me having been studying this particular group of languages I was interested in, none of this would come about. And it's some coincidences. For instance, if there had been anything in Greek on Netflix, this system would have never came about. Because what I've been doing for any language I study is I study by Netflix subtitles. And I listen to it too. I've got it as a passive listening program. But what I was doing, I did not do ear tuning exercises. So all this passive listening didn't help a lot. I never could understand anything. But the Greek wasn't directly involved in the ear tuning part. Okay, the Greek was how I discovered step 3, the read-throughs. I'd spent 4 months very lightly going over, the definitions in a half-hour-long audiobook called Greek with Lena, 100 Common Phrases for Tourists and Beginners, okay, for Greek. So over that 4 months, I learned the Greek alphabet, forgot it, learned it again. I mean, very light study. Eventually, I got to the point where, okay, I looked up all the words, and I had my little personal dictionary, okay, but I had nothing to listen to in Greek because there's nothing on Netflix. So I said, you know what? I've been learning this Greek off this common phrase video. I'll just play it in the background. Okay, did that. Sure enough, hey, guess what? I learned it all just by listening to it. 85% of it in the first week of just passive listening to it and ignoring it after having very lightly looked over it. Step 1. Then eventually I went to all common phrase videos, looking over things quickly, and then passive listening. When I developed my read-through system more, I started realizing, wait, I can make this whole thing work better. I can lightly study a phrase, then read it 3 times, then just listen 3 times. Okay, well, that all worked. It also turned out to parallel what I do for ear tuning. My ear tuned into common phrase videos for Brazilian Portuguese, which led me to very soon, within 10 days, I had my ear tuned into every language. Okay, for common phrases level. But then a friend sent something in full speed Spanish. I applied the same techniques. Bam, all of a sudden, 2 days later, I could hear full speed Spanish perfectly correctly. Turns out, it doesn't matter if you apply this method to common phrases or to full speed speech, same amount of time. So don't even worry about common phrases. Go right to full speed speech. You can understand it. You can hear it perfectly, really fast. Okay. Well, and the last thing was I found out that with Hindi, something dawned on me. You know, what if I had my Hindi partner, my Hindi language partner, write me some ear tuning syllables representing the Hindi words in English letters so that I could read them. I did not know what the Hindi meant, but I was able to tune my ear into Hindi. That was the last bit of my program. So ever since, this is how I teach. Ear first. Make sure you can hear it perfectly. Then start teaching you what the words mean within a connected story. Which you keep looping so you'll never forget what you learned. And I kept this to 17 minutes. That's it. Hey, if you like this kind of stuff, like, subscribe, explore the channel, comment. I will do this blog in a week and let you know what. I'm not adding any new playlists, but I will be telling you for each playlist what materials I've added for that particular language being taught in a particular language. Okay. Everyone have a good day. Bye bye.